are a lot of devastating ways that I see business owners waste money, but this has to be one of the most heartbreaking. And for context, I used to work for a Fortune 50 company that had a bunch of retail storefronts, and I managed the accounting for $15 billion in commercial leases. And so I am extremely aware of how commercial leases work. And if you're a newer business owner, just know that the lease that you have on your apartment is going to have very different terms and conditions than the lease for a retail storefront or a commercial building. And I see this mistake being made a lot in the salon industry and the beauty industry in particular. In fact, there's a local place near me that isn't a client, but I watch them put everything together. And I know, because I'm a numbers person, there's no way that they're going to make it another couple years unless they just have a ton of cash. And this mistake is that when you're moving into a location that you do not own, spending a ton of money fixing that property up. Now, if you're doing things like adding a kitchen, adding a bathroom, a lot of times your commercial landlord will give you credits, tenant improvement allowance credits, because you are improving their property, and when you leave, they can lease the space for hire. But if you're doing something extremely custom, like we see in a lot of salons and spas, the landlord may or may not give you a credit. Therefore, you're putting your own hard-earned money into somebody else's property, and you do not have the amount of control you need to ensure that you get the use out of that asset. And some of these build-outs can be quite expensive, and I do admit sometimes it's not possible for you to own your location because commercial property is very expensive. However, if you're not working with a numbers person and an attorney to make sure that your rights and obligations and your numbers and your finances are protected, then you can get yourself in a situation where you sink six figures into a location and have absolutely nothing to show for it. So if you're opening a business, if you're looking to update your existing location, please, I implore you, work with a lawyer who can help you with the terms and conditions of your commercial lease agreement to make sure that you're getting the most value you can out of these investments. And please be working with an accountant who can tell you how it's going to impact your taxes and how that investment is going to impact you should that lease be terminated early. That way you can make a really powerful decision about whether or not it makes sense. I know you want the beautiful space, and sometimes you're going to have to make that investment, but it's better to make that investment knowing the pros and cons rather than get yourself in a situation where you've sunk your life savings into something you can't recover. And if you've ever been burnt by a corporate landlord, drop your history in the comments.